Hello and welcome to my channel, your go-to source for the latest in Hallmark Channel News 24. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for all the updates. Let's dive right in.
Yinke Crystal Lowe, 45, is taking back her life and career. The actress shared an uplifting video on Instagram where she celebrated feeling healthy enough to go back to work after recently undergoing a double mastectomy. Crystal Lowe finally feels like a whole person amid cancer battle. Lowe explained how she's currently in the process of directing a film. While the production is still in its beginning stages, the Hallmark actress shared that she and the producer are acting out the scenes to make sure they feel realistic enough for the actors. Lowe, who was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer in 2025 and later underwent a double mastectomy in February of this year, went on to emphasize how passionate she is about making movies, noting that she's studying certain film clips for inspiration. "I love making movies," she exclaimed. "I'll also be sitting here watching clips from all of the movies that I will be studying while I do this." The actress captioned her positive update by saying how getting back into the swing of things work-wise was exactly what her body needed. "Can't stop, won't stop. Being a cancer patient for so long makes you feel like you're just a patient. I cannot stress enough how badly I needed to do things that remind me that I'm a whole person," Lowe wrote. "Thank you at Michael Barbuto for entertaining my insanity in the office. LOL #breastcancer #making movies." In her Instagram video, Lowe also joked about how her shaved head looked like the outer fuzz of a peach. "I am a little fuzzy pod," she said as she took a closer look at herself while filming the video update. Lowe shaved her hair in October 2025 shortly after receiving her diagnosis. She then began several months of chemotherapy, leading up to her recent double mastectomy. When the Final Destination actress first received her cancer diagnosis, she was in complete disbelief. In a personal essay published by People, Lowe shared that she discovered a lump on her right breast in February 2025. She immediately went in for a mammogram but was sent home after specialists didn't find anything concerning. Lowe shared in her essay that several months later, the lump was still there and growing. She decided to go back to the doctors. It would be then that her life would be tested in ways she never imagined. The mass was still there, but it was changing in size and placement, and my confusion and fear kept growing. I didn't feel any pain, but my nipple became inverted, so I went back to the doctor. Lowe wrote about why she wanted another evaluation. When the doctor told Lowe that her lump felt like cancer, she described her initial reaction as follows: "I just stared at him, blinking as if I hadn't heard him correctly. I don't have cancer, I thought. That's crazy. But deep down, something inside me whispered, what if?" Despite the uncertainty of cancer and its lifelong impact, Lowe's determination is a testament to just how strong one can become when faced with a battle they never intended to fight. When the news first broke that Crystal Lowe had undergone a double mastectomy, the reaction across the Hallmark community was immediate and emotional. Fans, co-stars, and colleagues rallied behind her, sending waves of support, love, and admiration. But what no one expected, what truly stunned even those closest to her, was what came next. Just 1 month later, Crystal Lowe was back on set. Not as an actress this time, but as a director. And not just any project, a heartfelt Hallmark movie that would quietly mirror her own journey of resilience, courage, and rediscovery. A return that meant more than work. The early morning air on set carried a different kind of energy the day Lowe returned. Crew members whispered in awe, not out of pity, but respect. This wasn't just a comeback, it was a statement. Wrapped in a soft jacket, her presence calm but commanding, Lowe stepped behind the monitor with a quiet determination. There were no grand speeches, no dramatic entrances. Just a simple nod, a focused gaze, and the words, "Let's tell a beautiful story." For many, it was hard to reconcile the physical and emotional weight of what she had endured just weeks prior. A double mastectomy is not just a procedure, it's a life-altering experience. It demands healing not only of the body, but of identity, confidence, and spirit. And yet, here she was. Directing. Creating. Leading. Strength behind the lens. What made Lowe's return so powerful wasn't just the speed, it was the intention behind it. Sources close to the production revealed that directing this film had become part of her healing process. Rather than retreat, she leaned into storytelling, using it as a way to reconnect with herself. She didn't want to be defined by what she went through, one crew member shared. She wanted to create something meaningful, to remind herself and others that life keeps moving, and so can you. The film itself, though not explicitly about illness or recovery, carried subtle emotional layers. Themes of second chances, rediscovery, and inner strength were woven into every scene, guided by Lowe's personal perspective. Actors noted a difference in her direction. There was a deeper emotional clarity, a gentleness, and yet an unwavering focus. She saw things others might miss, one cast member said. Moments that felt small suddenly became powerful under her guidance. The quiet battles no one sees while the cameras rolled and scenes came to life, Lowe was still navigating her own recovery behind the scenes. Long hours were carefully balanced with rest. Movements were measured. Pain, though managed, was present. But she never let it overshadow her purpose. Instead, she adapted. Chairs were placed strategically so she could sit while directing. Schedules were adjusted. The team worked around her needs, not out of obligation, but admiration. What stood out most wasn't just her strength, but her vulnerability. She didn't pretend everything was fine. She acknowledged the difficulty, the exhaustion, the emotional toll. And in doing so, she created a space where others felt safe to be honest too. A new chapter in her career. For years, Crystal Lowe had been a familiar face in Hallmark films, bringing warmth, charm, and relatability to every role she played. But stepping into the director's chair marked a new evolution. And this project, given its timing, became symbolic. It wasn't just another credit, it was a turning point. Industry insiders began to take notice. Her ability to lead under such circumstances spoke volumes about her dedication and talent. There were already whispers of future directing opportunities, bigger projects, and a growing demand for her creative vision. But for Lowe, it wasn't about ambition. It was about meaning. She's not chasing success, a colleague explained. She's choosing purpose. The cast felt it too. The emotional weight of the production wasn't lost on the cast. Many had followed Lowe's journey closely, and being part of her first project back carried a deep sense of responsibility. Scenes were approached with heightened care. Every performance felt more intentional, more connected. There were moments between takes, quiet conversations, shared laughter, even tears, that bonded the group in ways most productions never experience. One actor described it as more than a film, it felt like being part of something healing. And perhaps that was exactly what it was. Fans rallied behind her as word spread about Lowe's return to directing. Fans flooded social media with messages of admiration. Some shared their own stories of survival. Others simply expressed gratitude for her courage, for her openness, for showing that strength doesn't always look loud or dramatic. It can look like showing up, doing the work, choosing to move forward even when it's hard. In many ways, Lowe became more than an actress or director in that moment. She became a symbol of resilience. Redefining strength. What Crystal Lowe demonstrated through this experience challenges traditional ideas of strength. It's not just about pushing through pain or ignoring struggle. It's about acknowledging it and still choosing to create, to lead, to live fully. Her return wasn't about proving anything to anyone else. It was about reclaiming her narrative, taking control of her story, and writing a new chapter on her own terms. Looking ahead as production wrapped, there was a quiet sense of accomplishment on set. Not the loud celebration of a typical wrap day, but something deeper. Something earned. For Lowe, this was just the beginning of a new phase, not just in her career, but in her life. There would be more challenges ahead. Recovery is not linear. But she had already shown that she possesses something far greater than physical strength. She has resilience, vision, heart, and perhaps most importantly, the courage to keep going. A story beyond the screen. When the film eventually premieres on Hallmark, audiences will see a beautiful story unfold, one filled with warmth, hope, and emotional depth. But what they may not fully see is the story behind the story. The early mornings, the quiet pain, the determination, the healing. Because sometimes the most powerful narratives aren't just the ones we watch. They're the ones lived in real time by people like Crystal Lowe, who remind us that even after life-changing moments, creativity, passion, and purpose can still shine through. And in doing so, she hasn't just directed a movie. She's inspired one.